Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. Um, so how are you underestimating or undervaluing yourself? Okay, it's another one. It's on beliefs, but and how labels, the labels that we use about ourselves, how they can affect us, kind of intertwined with beliefs. Okay, these beliefs can be general or they can be specific, and often they're very general. Um, and it's about identifying what we believe about ourselves and finding them out so that we can then choose a belief that is more helpful to us. Hey, why would we have go through life with a bunch of beliefs that are not helpful to us? That seems insane. Hey, um, so let's get on with it. I think I need a whiteboard for this. So let me just find a whiteboard. Nope. Where are you? Everything changes but you. I don't want that. Don't want that. Ah, gosh, it moved. New whiteboard. There we go. Finally. Gosh, me and technology are not the best of chums, but hey ho. So, been talking about frequency. That's just writing on here. Frequency, or F. Okay. That is, let's just put that called our old frequency or current frequency. Okay, so that's where we are right now, what we currently believe, how our life currently is. Okay, and let's say you've got a label, and I'm going to use this because it's going to be easier to read. Let's say you've got a label of mum or dad, and to have a label of mum or dad, you also need this son, daughter. You might think of it as children. Okay, particularly if you've got more than one, you might have a son and a daughter, whatever. Okay. Uh, so through each of those labels, we have a certain set of beliefs. Okay, so being a mum or a dad might come with a set of beliefs. Okay, um, I'm a good, bad mum or dad. Okay, it could be that we could draw a line off each of these son or daughter. So maybe you've come into parenthood with a view of sons are cheeky, mischievous. Spelling is awful. Mischievous. It's probably still wrong. Yep. Can I? Oh, Google fails me. Cheeky. Naughty, loud, sporty, okay, etc., etc. That might be your impression of what boys are. Okay, maybe you went into parenthood and that's what you initially thought, but maybe those changed, but then that's fine. They're allowed to change, and I encourage you to allow things to change. Okay, again, we might have thing a thought about daughters or the label daughter. What are they? Okay, so to a mum, I just need to move my mic so I can type. A mum might think daughters are fun, cuddly, friendly. Okay, we might go on the other side and go a bit mean, can be cruel, etc., etc. Okay, so these are not generally things that we're going to describe about, but they're just kind of these little things that are in the back of our mind. And again, we might have a general rule or a belief about children. Okay, children are loud, noisy, um, hard to control, hard to teach, um, difficult. Okay, these are unhelpful beliefs. Okay, some of them are helpful and others are unhelpful there, but So it's a bit of a mishmash. Okay, so we've got all these different things in our life. Okay, where we are labeling ourselves. So let's have another label. Let's say you're a runner. Oh, what's going on here? What is this? Go away. Say, I am a runner. Okay. Um, Again, we might have some general beliefs about running. Okay, running makes me injured. Running is hard. Running far is hard. It takes a lot of training. I don't have time. Okay. We might have kind of secondary thoughts about running. So it's like it might be something to do with equipment, like having the right trainers, um, water bottle. Okay, we might have certain thoughts and feelings about equipment. Okay, so it's like I look stupid carrying this, wearing this. What do people think of me in this lycra? I can't even see what I'm typing anymore. Lycra outfit. So if we've got all these kind of self-confidence issues and we're a runner and you're going out and you're wearing trainers you don't like, or maybe they don't feel too comfortable, or you're wearing clothes that you don't feel are very flattering, or you're carrying equipment which makes you feel silly or whatever else. Okay? That's likely to affect how you run, how long you spend running, how often you go out running, who you spend time with when you run. Maybe you're not a fan of group running because you feel very self-conscious. Um, Maybe it encourages you to go running with a group because you're all wearing the same kind of outfits. Okay, so it kind of makes you feel a bit more comfortable. Okay, and again, with running, okay, and what kind of runner are you? Are you a long, middle, kind of short distance runner? Okay, so like sprinter, 400 meters, do you run track? Do you run out on roads? Okay, again, this is all going to affect what we think. And again, we can break this down. So kind of what is a long distance for you? Okay, so for some people, long distance, 5K. For other people, long distance, 10K. For other people, again, long distance is kind of marathon or marathon plus. Hey, for me, half marathon, that's 10K to half marathon. That's my kind of long distance. And yes, anything above that is long distance. So 10K is kind of a nice middle-ish distance for me. At least that's what I always thought. Okay, but completely out of training right now. 10K for me is doable, but it's slow nowadays. Okay, but I could get back into it if I wanted to. Okay, so that's a helpful belief. Okay, so that's an example of a helpful belief. Okay, and let's go with another one. We're all about injuries and stuff here. So when you get an injury, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about injury? Are they more along the lines? Again, we can break injury down into chronic, kind of long term. Okay, and when we first get an injury, we don't know if it's going to be chronic and long term or not. Okay, we might have a suspicion, and depending on what we've been told and what kind of diagnosis we've got, we might then Google it and go, yeah, this is a long term. Or you might get told by a therapist that, yeah, this is a long term thing. It's going to take a long time, a lot of effort to get around this, to move back to where you were before. Or do we think it's temporary? Okay. For me, it's much more useful to think of things as temporary. Okay, short term. Okay, oh, get rid of that. Go away. No, don't want to go. Ah, there we go. That's what I wanted. Short term. Okay, and depending on how you look at injuries in the body and go, right, okay, is this long term? Is this short term? That's going to affect what you believe about it. Okay, so if I go long term, it's going to be hard. It's going to be lots of work. Maybe I need supplements. Or maybe I need knowledge, training skills. Okay. And you start looking at this stuff and you go, oh God, that's going to be so much effort. I don't know what to do. There's so much information on this. I don't know which advice to follow, etc., etc. If it's short term and you feel it's temporary, you probably think, well, do you know what? Yeah, I've got to do something. Got to do something. But maybe it's easy. Maybe it's only going to take 5 minutes, 5 minutes a day, or even less, maybe 5 minutes every other day. Okay. Maybe there's some kind of simple thing to do, okay, that's just going to help you change things. Okay. So this is how we can start identifying our beliefs. Okay, so we look at our labels, okay, the things that we currently think about ourselves, the things we currently think about our lives, everything that's going on, and it can include family, it can include the parenting, it includes the general term people. Okay, so what are people? I come bring one here. Okay, and this again, depends on context for you. So as a me as a business owner, what are my current beliefs about people? Okay, so my current experience and therefore beliefs, or whichever way around it comes. Okay, it's going to be beliefs first and then experience second. Um, people, I get ignored. I confuse people. Um, okay, expensive. Okay, all these are just really not helpful to me. Um, because by having these thoughts about so I'm kind of combining people and business for me in this particular case. But these are things I experience around business and people or potential clients, whatever. Okay. One thing I know for sure is I'm not expensive because I look at some of the other therapists who are doing similar things to me and they're charging triple, quadruple what I am. Certainly for the one-to-one stuff. And like if they're producing courses, they're in the hundreds, high hundreds, if not thousands. Um, and that's not what I'm doing here. Okay. Maybe I do confuse people though, because it's what do I do? Um, so maybe there's some things for me. Well, there's definitely some things for me to work on there. Hey, but what do all of these come with? Hey, if I pen, highlighter, no, pen, let's go red. Particularly this box here, if I, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Um, let's come back to that. Oh, everything's moving around all the way down, all this stuff, all of these beliefs, they all come with, let's put this in another color just for fun. They all come with emotions. Okay, again, talked about this a lot, a lot, a lot. All of these things come with emotions. So what what would I rather believe? Okay, what do I want to believe about my role in life as a mum or a dad? What do I want to believe in my role in life as a runner or some kind of sports person or as some kind of healthy person? It's not a sports person necessarily. What do I need to believe to make things easier for me? What do I need to believe that's going to help me to feel good rather than to feel less good? What's going to help me to motivate myself to do the things that I believe that I need to do? What's going to help me most? And by having a little exercise like this and go, just like pen and paper, just chuck everything you think about the most difficult topic that you have in your life. So, what's the topic of your life that is causing you most distress? What is causing you most stress? Okay, whether it's money, whether it's family, a particular child, a work, whatever. What is it that I currently believe about that thing? Okay. And you can dig back into your past as well. What is it I currently think about all of that? There's going to be good and bad in there. There's going to be ones that are already helpful. There are going to be ones that are not so helpful. And you're going to dig out the ones that are not so helpful. And then you're going to, from those ones that are not so helpful, you're going to create one that is more helpful. Okay. You're going to create another belief. Okay. That you're just going to drum into yourself. Okay. Actually, it is easy to run 6K, 7K, 8K. Let's say you're stuck at 5K. I know that's a challenge for someone in this group. Kind of stuck at about 5K. And even with 5K, it's like it should be better. It should be faster. It should be easier. Considering the length of time that they've been running. Okay, as in how many years they've been a runner. That's going to create a lot of frustration. That's going to create a lot of emotions by having lived that situation. But what's a helpful, but what would I do? Okay, in this situation. Okay, and I was thinking about this earlier today, going, okay, well, and I actually thought about this last week or the week before, and I've forgotten to mention it. And the thing to do here is go, right, I don't care what time it is I take to do this, but instead of 5K, I'm going to go out for 6K because 5K has become this glass ceiling. 5 kilometers of running has become a glass ceiling. And you almost need to go out and prove to yourself you can go further than 5K. Okay, it doesn't have to be 10K or 15K or a half marathon or whatever. It just needs to be further than 5K. Start with 5.5 or 6K. Can I go further than that? And it doesn't matter the time, it doesn't matter how much you walk. It's absolutely of no relevance. You break the ceiling of the distance. So my next goal, okay, so I did 10K last week. Last Wednesday, I ran 10K. It was again not my personal competitive kind of pace. I think I could probably do it in sub-hour if I wasn't filming videos. I ran in boots, I ran in trousers, and I was filming. I filmed about half an hour's worth of videos while I was out for my run. So I know I could have gone a lot faster. I could have pushed myself a lot more in terms of speed. Um, but it was about an hour and 10 minutes. Okay. But it was nice to be just be able to go out and go for that long and for that far. And to come back home and realize, oh, hang on a minute, I ran, I think it was 7.5 miles. So that's 11.5, 12K actually. Um, but whatever, it doesn't really matter the distance. The fact is that I ran it and it didn't hurt. Okay. There was a lot of walking. There was a decent amount of running in there. I'm happy. My next one is to go and just go a little bit further, 14K, 15K. And I'll be out for a little bit longer and maybe go a little bit faster, but I'm not too bothered if I don't do or don't. Just about getting some distance in the legs. So that could be the same for an injury. How much, this is a question for you, how much can I get better right now? And you might give that to yourself as a percentage. You might give yourself, do you know what? I'm on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm at an 8 right now. Right now, do you know what? I think if I did 5 minutes of something, whatever it is that pops into your head, I could go from an 8 to a 7. I could go from an 8 to a 6. And that could be meditation. It could be one of the treatments that I've given you in the group. It could be some other kind of information that I've given you in the group, like a pressure point. You might do some muscle testing and go, oh, yeah, even though I've got pain in my knee, Pete's taught me some muscle testing. So let's have a little look. Is it in my upper body? Is it my lower body? Is it my left arm, right arm? Is it in my spine? Okay, so this particular thing's in my spine. Is it in my neck? Is it my thoracic spine? Is it my lumbar spine? Okay, lumbar spine, where is it? 1, 2, 3. Okay, lumbar spine, 3. Left, right. Okay, so left, right side of my lumbar spine, L3. So whatever injury I'm thinking about right now, if I go and give that a bit of a massage, L3 on the right. Okay, and if you don't know exactly where that is, just get a foam roller and just roll around your lower back. It's fine. Just aim slightly to the right side. If that's the particular thing that might come up for you, give that a little rub. and go, right, okay, how's the original thing that I was thinking about now? Was it my back or knee? Is my knee feeling better? Okay, yeah. Is it a six now? Yeah, okay. It's gone from an eight to a six. Cool. And that's only just taken me 2 minutes to do. Is there anything else I can do right now that's going to take me from a six to a five? Okay. And you start building your belief that you can change your body. And one of the things I hope I have been teaching you over the last few years is that you can do all of this yourself. You can do all of this yourself. I don't necessarily have kind of magical powers. My job is to teach you how to do these things for you, um, so that you need me less and less and less. Okay. Yes, I'm here for support. Yes, I'm here to guide you and go, right, yeah, watch that video, check out this thing, or a quick suggestion um, here and there of going, yeah, do this for your leg, do this for that, and whatever else. Okay. Just to save you a little bit of time and effort. But main goal has really been to teach you as much as I can so that you don't need this stuff. There's nothing special. There's seems weird to say, but there's nothing particularly special about this. Anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. And it's our belief that we can't do it that makes us struggle. Okay, or the belief that it's hard to learn, okay, the belief that it's difficult, the belief that it's really complicated. I used to love that it was so complicated. It gave me so much pride that I'd learned this complicated, massively complex system, uh, and I had it all memorized. And it's like, yeah, do this, do this, do this, check this, check this, check this. And there was a thousand and one things to go through. But what it ultimately led me to was our beliefs, our emotions, our thoughts, um, how we perceive the world. Okay, and our beliefs is a large proportion of how we perceive the world. If we believe things are difficult, then things are difficult. If we believe things are easy, then things are easy. Again, think about your life. What comes easy to you but is hard to others? What comes easy to you but is hard for others? For me, running. Running is pretty easy for me. Um, I don't want to end. I think it's that one. Yeah, close whiteboard. Cool. Running is easy for me. I've always been a decent runner. Um, and I think this really helps. Okay, swimming. Swimming has always been easy for me. Okay, except for, I was learning as a child, but once I'd kind of grasped the basics, I was a pretty good swimmer. Okay, and I'm still a pretty good swimmer. I can still cardiovascularly, I can't bang out too many lengths. I haven't got the endurance anymore, but I'm still pretty quick over a short distance. Um, and I've still got decent technique despite not having really done much work in a pool for 20 plus years, 25. And I've done a smattering of work when I was in the army, when I was training for like army championships and things. Okay, not that I won anything there, but those are beliefs I have. Okay, that these things are easy for me. Okay, and if those things are easy for me, just it's mostly because I've thought they're easy for me, and therefore I did the training. Okay, I thought they were fun. Okay, swimming was fun until it wasn't. Okay, running was fun until it wasn't. But those things are still quite easy for me. I can go out and run, and I can go quite far. I'm not necessarily as quick as I used to be, but I can still go some fairly long distances with very little training. As I said, 12K the other day, 11, 12K. I've gone from 10K to 12K. I don't know exactly what it was. Somewhere in that mark, 10 to 12K. Um, and it was comfortable. Okay. And I haven't trained running properly for 5 or 6 years. Um, I could just kind of go out sporadically. I'll do it for 3 or 4 weeks and then I'll stop. And then 6 months later, I'll do it for 3 or 4 weeks again and then I'll stop. So throughout the year, I probably only run maximum 200 kilometers over the last few years. So, but because I think it's easy, it's still relatively easy. So whatever you think is easy will come to you naturally. Okay, so what is easy for you? Maybe it's parenting, maybe it's some part of your work, maybe it's money, maybe money comes easy to you. And it just kind of goes, oh yeah, here it is. Here's the 500 quid you need for buying a new TV. It just kind of happens, okay? You don't quite know how. Okay. Um, so there's going to be some parts of your life that you think are easy, and other parts of your life that you think are hard. The hard ones are the ones that are going to be causing you stress, and the easy ones are the ones that just kind of show up naturally, and you're not even working for them. We don't need to flip that on its head. We need to look at our hard ones and start telling ourselves that these things are easier than we think they are. Okay. And they're hard because we've generated the belief through experience, granted, that these things are hard. Okay. But that experience might have come from parents. It might have come from TV. It might have come from growing up in a certain area. And you go, right, yeah, making money is hard because look at all these people around me. They're really struggling. Okay. Maybe running your own business is hard. Okay. Because, um, you looked at people around you in your life growing up and you go, oh, that person runs their business and they're not doing too well. That person runs their business and they're not doing too well either. Okay. Or you watch, Ian Beale on EastEnders go, oh, that guy's running his fish and chip shop and he's not doing too well. Whatever it is. Okay. So you might have picked up cultural references from TV or film, from radio, from stories you've heard, from books you've read. Um, Roald Dahl's, Matilda's, I mean, Matilda's not an orphan, but um, well, you got the BFG with the orphan, okay, and all these kind of difficult things that you might have read as a child and gone, oh yeah, that little child in that story is a little bit like me. Okay, so you might have recognized some grain of character trait in the character in a story, and you've linked that to you, and then you've become Matilda, or you've become um, I can't remember the girl's name in the BFG. Okay, but you've become a character in a story, or at least an element of them. And part of your life has turned out like the character from the book that you read, okay, or the TV show that you've watched, because it's created a story, it's created a belief in you that such and such is hard or such and such is difficult for this type of person. Okay, this type of person, which I identify as this part of their life is difficult. And because you've identified as a type of person which you already hold a belief about, you've now married the two things together and gone, right, I am this type of person, therefore I have this type of problem because I've seen that over here in a book, in a TV show, in somebody else's life, and now I've kind of become that label as well. So therefore I now have that thing as well. Okay, so we're tying things together that are not necessarily our own. Okay, so the other thing to do here is to look for people who are successful at the things that you are stressed about. Okay. So again, look for people who are successful at parenting. Look for people who are successful at business. Look for people who are successful at running. And think about what they believe about those things. What does that person believe about parenting? What does that person believe about running a business? What does that person believe about making money? What does that person believe about sport, exercise, fitness, injuries, health? Are they easy to overcome or is it really complicated? And you have to learn all the stuff about the brain and the gut and the gut brain axis and the heart brain axis and all the skeletal system and the nervous system and how all the nerves connect to each other. Okay, and how the nerves connect via the parasympathetic or the sympathetic nervous system. I can't remember which way around that is, but it's one of those. Okay, and you have to learn all the parts of the axon, okay, and all the parts of the neurons, okay, and how sodium channels and calcium gates open and close, all down here. Okay, and you need to learn all the parts of the brain and where the somatosensory cortex is and the motor cortex is and the prefrontal cortex and all the hundreds and thousands of things and how the vestibular system works and how our body, autophagy, and we get so incredibly complicated. It's after after years and thousands of pounds of learning this stuff, it's really hard to admit that you actually don't need it. You actually don't need it. It is largely a belief game. Okay. Um, and then having some faith. that you can actually do it. So I can do this. I can heal myself. I can do this. I can change that. I can change how I am. And not only can I do that, it's not as hard as I think it is. It's actually much easier. Okay? Our lives can go downhill in one event. One event can completely switch a quite happy, normal, successful life completely on its head into a very fast downward spiral. Well, if one event can make it go down, surely one similar event can make it go up. Okay? It's about our attachment to the feelings. Okay. And if we can get to neutral, like we discussed last week, okay, if we can get to neutral about these things, it's then going to be a much smaller step to go from neutral to positive. Okay, so our first goal is to go from negative to neutral, neutral to moving on. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. Okay, so I want you to have a little think about what I've discussed here, what I've talked about tonight, and go to one area of life. Just one. Family, friend, money, business, career, your health, your body, whatever it is. Okay. Come to a negative belief that you hold about it, a belief that is not helpful, not a negative belief, a belief that is not helpful. Like it's hard to, it's difficult to, some kind of generalization that you have come into agreement with, which is not working out beneficially for you. Okay. Stuff like we've discussed. Okay. So runners get injured. I'm a runner, therefore I get injured. Okay. Sports people get injured. I'm a sports person, therefore I get injured. I'm a mum or a dad, and mums and dads shout at their kids. Okay. Not helpful. So come to one that raises your emotions. Okay. It doesn't have to be all the way up to a 10 out of 10. Could be one that gets you to a 5 or a 6 and go, yeah, my life would be better if that 5 or 6 on this particular belief was actually a 0. Okay. Would actually be neutral. So come to one of those. Okay, so just get yourself relaxed first. Okay, so hopefully now you've got some kind of belief in your mind that you would prefer to neutralize. Take some deep breaths. Just feel your body relaxing. Just make sure everything in your body is relaxed. Run through from head to toe, section by section in your body, breathing deeply as you go. Okay, and then bring to mind your unhelpful belief. Hopefully, one of the first things you notice about it is there is a sensation in your body about that belief. And if you can't feel it straight away, A, doesn't matter. B, you can repeat the belief while noticing what's going on in your body. And just see by repeating it a few times, does any part of your body flag up? Is there a heaviness? Some kind of weight, some kind of density? Is there a lightness? Is there a fluttering? Is there a sensation of some kind somewhere in your body that you wouldn't normally notice. It could be anywhere, doesn't matter where. And your job now is to simply breathe and notice this particular area of your body. And it has to do with your original belief that we thought about. Know that it's okay for this to be there. You don't need to force it to change. And sometimes it's fun to play with these things and think about its texture. Think about what it's made of. Is it lead or is it wood? Is it plastic? And what's the shape? What's the color? Does it have a smell? Does it have a texture? It's like if you could hold it in your hand, what would it be? You can play with it. It's okay. You might find it helpful. You might find it a hindrance. I'll leave it up to you as to how you do that. Okay, does it move around your body? Does it stay still? Is it spinning, bouncing, vibrating? Okay, ask it. Ask it a question. What do you want me to do? Again, it could give you practically any answer here. It might be something you can do immediately while in a meditation. Or it might be something you have to do a little bit later. If it is that, I advise doing it as soon as you can. Whatever you can or can't do right now, just stay with that area of your body. Stay with that belief. If you repeat the belief again in your mind, how does it feel now on a scale of 1 to 10? Where was it before? Where is it now? Here's a bonus bit of material. If you think something is a big problem, then it's going to be hard to fix. It's going to be hard to make changes to a big problem. If you think something is a small or medium problem, it's going to be much easier to resolve. Okay, so even though this feeling is 6, 7, 8 out of 10, this belief causes, that much distress, that much tension. It's actually quite a small and easy step to go down from that 7, 8 mark down to a 6 or a 5. And then once you've got to a 5, it feels a lot smaller and it's easier to get to a 4. And as it decreases in size yet again, it's even easier to get to a 3, then to a 2, and finally to a 1 and a 0. And you just repeat the belief again in your mind. Have you made it to neutral? Have you made it so that this phrase, this belief that you had, now does not affect you anymore? At least at the present moment. If it's still there, and it's still lingering at whatever level it's at, just notice that it's a much smaller thing now. It's not a big thing anymore. And with small things, they're easy. And maybe there's another small, easy thing you can do right now that will help turn it down a notch further. Maybe you need to move an arm, a shoulder, poke something in your body. Not poke something into your body, but poke something on your body, like pressing your knee or pressing your chest or something. You know what I mean. Okay, we're going to leave that one now, even if there's a little bit left. Well, so if there is something left on that, just have a little thought about it another time. Chip away at it again another day. And come to another thought about your life. Again, just as a reminder, there's all kinds of areas of life. Could be about you and your body, or kind of some injury, ache, pain, finances, partners, kids, work colleagues, sport, a certain person, maybe a celebrity you don't particularly like. It could be all kinds of things. Okay, social media. We have beliefs about everything that shows up. Politics, certain politicians, political parties. Okay, have a little think about what you believe about those things. Find a belief that makes you stressed, that makes life more difficult for you, and would be better if you thought something else, or if you didn't have that belief. Okay, see if you can just generate it now. If you're struggling, just take a little bit of time just to find something. And if you've got one, just hold on to it for a while. Okay, again, it's easy to find these things. You've got thousands of them. There are thousands of beliefs that are unhelpful to us. Most go unrecognized because they're so common we think it's just life. Okay, give it a little score, 1 to 10, hopefully on the kind of middling to higher end. Okay, say that belief either out loud or in your head. Where's the sensation in your body? And if you can't quite get that sensation first time round, go again, say the belief again. Keep your body in awareness. Okay, same as last time. You can play with this sensation, change its color. Wrong. What is its color? What is its shape? What is its texture? Does it have a smell? What's it made from? Does it move, vibrate, turn, spin? Which way does it spin? Okay, be curious about this sensation. Okay, forget about where it is. Don't try and describe it as oh, it's my lung, or it's my rib, or it's my stomach, or my small intestine. Then you're going to start going down the wrong track. You're going to start then thinking about all the complicated stuff about the body. Look at all the villi in my small intestine. They're all smoothed out. And I don't have the mucus lining and the BDNF and the growth factor and the lactobacillus is not high enough in my small intestine and my sphincter's not working properly. Um, don't forget the weenus. It's a Friends reference for anyone who didn't get that. So anyway, come back to your sensation. So don't worry about its location, just that you have it located. It's got nothing to do with the body parts that are there. Okay, nothing to do with the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments, the fascia, etc. It's got everything to do with our thoughts and emotions. Okay, so return to the shape, return to the sensation. See if you can find out anything more about it. Has it moved? Is there a different sensation in your body now? Has it gone somewhere else? Maybe it's in two places now. Okay, if it has shown up in a second place, do the same thing there. What's it made of? What color is it? What's its shape? Does it have a smell? Is it moving in some way? What's the texture? Does it have a temperature? Has it got anything to say to you? Is there some easy thing you can do right now on using your hands or your body in some way to relieve the sensation? Don't think too hard about it. Whatever intuitively comes into your mind, if something does that you can easily do, sat or laying here, wherever you are, do that. And if it's something a bit more technical or requires you to open your eyes or move around, and just save it for a few minutes and do it at the end. Okay, now think back to your phrase. What was its score at the beginning? And what is its score now? With any luck, it's moved down from wherever it was, up in the mid to high range of the 1 to 10 scale. And now that it's got smaller, it's easier to chip it away again. So let's say you've got it down to a 5. Well, it's pretty easy to knock it down to a 4. And then it's a bit easier to knock it down to a 3. And easier again to knock it down to a 2. And by the time you've got it to a 2, It's really easy to knock it down to a one. And from a one, you can knock it down to a zero. Come back to your original sensation, your original belief. Say or think it again. How stressful does it feel now? Has it made it all the way down to a zero? Do you feel neutral, at least for now, about it? What belief or beliefs would you put in its place? We can keep this really simple and just go for the opposite of what you originally thought, or something that is simply an improvement of what the original thought was. Do you feel any resistance to saying or thinking those new and improved thoughts? Does it feel like an absolute lie? Or does it feel, well, do you know what? I can believe that. If nothing else, you might not be able to implant that new belief right now. That's fine. As long as what we've done is reduce the power of the beliefs that have been holding you back, that have been hampering some part of your life, that have been causing you stress, discomfort, and worry. And if they are reduced, you are in a much better place to make decisions, to take actions, and move forward from. Okay, so when you feel ready, you can open your eyes and move on to the next part of your day. Or you can continue, do this again and again and again and again and again until you feel completely new. It's up to you. It's okay. Either way. Have a great day.